By grace, we are saved. That right there is the few words that changed my life. When I was growing up, I was raised Catholic. My parents taught me how to be a good person. Castallanos. They took me to church every week. I was an altar boy, went to a Catholic school. They did everything that they needed to actually be great parents. I love my mother and father, but then I fell into the wrong crowd. By the time I was 13, we were doing drugs or even drinking. My parents, to their knowledge, were doing a great job. I was going to school, getting somewhat bad grades. But then when I got into high school, it was just even worse. Playing football, but every weekend, drinking, doing drugs. Growing up in Hispanic culture, my family would practice this form of religion called Santeria. And Santeria is synchronistic worship of saints and African gods. I would go to places and they would sacrifice chickens to get what they wanted. It was a very self-centered religion. When I was a kid living in New Jersey, we lived in an older house. I would see some demonic activity there. I would tell the story to people and go, hey, I don't care if you believe in ghosts or not, but this is what happened to me when I was a kid, and there's ghosts. It was very, very scary. So my aunt came over and did some seance. I heard different voices, different languages come out of her. It was something that was very, very traumatic in my life. Still kind of gives me a little bit of uncomfortable feeling. Those demons and those ghosts that I was seeing I stopped seeing them. But that caused me to actually fall deeper in with this Santeria, this worship. Going into my 20s, it was just a continuous drug-induced week, alcohol, addicted to pornography, and I also sold drugs. It was just something that I couldn't get out of. I was just living my life, doing me or you do you. I was doing my thing. In the midst of that, I met my now wife. Two broken people coming together, kind of just latched onto each other. I didn't know that God was using her also to pull me out of this damaging lifestyle. We both started going out and partying together and doing all these drugs and drinking. I had my son that I had when I was 21. At this time he was 7. I was in and out of his life because of my drug addiction. She had 2 kids from a previous marriage. We were just coexisting, living together. We are trying to kind of bring our life together. So we started visiting churches. We went to these big, beautiful Catholic churches. It was still leaving us empty. I was working with a church planner. He was my manager. He was always talking to me about, yeah, I'm planting this church. I didn't even know what that meant. At the same time that he was inviting me and we were talking about biblical things, my wife was actually being talked to by a pastor in her job. I told my fiance, let's just go to this guy's church. We get there, and he's preaching through Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 through 9. By grace we are saved. By grace we are saved. That right there is the few words that changed my life. The Spirit just pierced my heart and just broke me. We went from God being this judge to God being this merciful, loving Redeemer. Our friends they're acting different. We didn't fit in anymore. We went on our first mission trip a few years later. After we got baptized, me and my wife were both baptized in the same day. I was baptized by the church planting pastor that invited me, that is still a great friend to me today. And it's just, I don't understand still why God has chosen me to be his servant, but I'm here. I'm here, and I'll go anywhere for him.